Hello YouTube, this is Dr. Ronald W. Satz, founder and chair of the International Society of Unified Science and president of TransPower Corporation, a commercial and custom software manufacturing and certified systems engineering company. I work as a theoretical physicist and as a systems and mechanical engineer. Today's screencasts will be about the reciprocal system as usual. For a long time I was a subscriber to the great Courses series of video lectures. So I watched hundreds and hundreds of these lectures, and I did quite a few reviews. I'm going to do two. I'm going to read through two of the reviews I've done on two of the lecture series which had to do with modern particle physics. These reviews are on Amazon, of course, so you can go there if you like. So let's take a look at the first one. This review is about dark matter, dark energy, the dark side of the universe by Sean Carroll. And I titled my review, Presentation of the Bizarre Mythologies of Modern Physics and Astrophysics. This guy, Sean Carroll, is just is the biggest proponent of the nonsense of modern physics. I mean, really, he's quite bizarre. Anyway, I gave this course 1 star. As a theoretical physicist myself, I have to watch lectures like this simply to stay current with conventional thought, strange as it is. Scientific observers and experimenters have discovered a mountain of physical data over the past 100 years, and it's the task of theoretical physics and astrophysics to make sense of all this data. Alas, the theories have gotten more and more bizarre with each passing decade. The professor, that's Sean Carroll, discusses the nuclear theory of the atom, quantum mechanics, special relativity, general relativity, the standard model of particle physics, supersymmetry, the Big Bang, inflation, quintessence, and the various theories of so-called dark matter and dark energy. The professor claims that Zwicky and Rubin demonstrated the existence of dark matter, but this is false. Zwicky was studying the Coma cluster of galaxies and couldn't figure out how it could be gravitationally bound because it didn't seem to have sufficient mass. What he didn't understand was that the Coma cluster is actually comprised of a number of galaxy groups moving slowly apart from one another, which we can't really see very well. Thus, there is no need to postulate dark matter here. As for Rubin, she studied the rotational curves of spiral galaxies and found that they were mostly flat, which is inconsistent with Keplerian dynamics. But what she didn't understand is that Kepler's laws do not apply to the stars moving around the galaxy center. A galaxy is a heterogeneous fluid structure rotating like the spiral in your toilet bowl. Hold on. Okay. All right, back. But what she didn't understand is that Kepler's laws do not apply to the stars moving around the galaxy center. A galaxy is a heterogeneous fluid structure rotating like the spiral in your toilet bowl, just repeating what I just said. Thus again, dark matter is superfluous. And so all the theories of dark matter, like WIMPs and machos, are superfluous. Now, what about dark energy? Astronomers have discovered that the galaxies are accelerating outward faster than they should be according to Big Bang theory and so-called universal gravitation, hence the supposed need for some sort of vacuum energy to account for this. Even the astronomers' ludicrous Big Bang theory is insufficient to account for the observed acceleration. The reality, of course, is that there is an inherent progression of space-time at the speed of light, which is countered by gravitation at closer distances, but not at larger distances, because of the inverse square law. We don't need, quote, vacuum energy to explain the time progression, and so we don't need vacuum energy to explain the space progression. The theory I work with, named the reciprocal system, has explained all this since 1959. It is hundreds of light years ahead of all the theories espoused by the professor. In the reciprocal system, space-time is perfectly Euclidean, not non-Euclidean. It is discrete, not continuous, and it is three-dimensional, not 4, 5, 6, 8, 10, 12, whatever. Three-dimensional. The professor himself in these lectures alternates between saying that space-time is flat or Euclidean and that it is curved. That's kind of amazing. What a contradiction. It's quite amusing to listen to him going back and forth on this issue. I could go on and on with a detailed critique of all the other theories discussed in this course, but you can find my work and my mentor's work. My mentor is Doobie Larson, of course, all over the web. Go forth and learn. And always take the words of your professors with a huge salt shaker. Wow, quite a review. Now we'll do the second review. This one is The Theory of Everything by Don Lincoln. As a PhD theoretical physicist myself, I have to read the books and papers of my competitors and watch video lectures like this one to stay current. The professor provides a very clear treatment of practically all the theories out there, except the one I work with. He discusses the nuclear theory of the atom, quantum mechanics, the standard model, particle physics, QED, quarks, and QCD, string theory, supersymmetry, Newton's law of gravity, general relativity, and many others. What I like about his presentation is that after giving the details of each theory, he provides a critique. Thus, instead of giving 1 star for these lectures, I'm giving 3, and I recommend that you watch them. Afterwards, I suggest you read the books and papers and YouTube videos on the reciprocal system of theory, the one I work with, and unfortunately not discussed by the professor. Dewey B. Larson, an engineer-scientist, published the first exposition of the reciprocal system in 1959, and I've been working with it since 1965. I've written scores of scientific papers on it, actually 2 books now, and numerous computer programs, including the reciprocal system microcosmos and macrocosmos database, all collected into a single database which verifies the theory. Yes, the verification of the reciprocal system is in my 2 database modules. Whereas the theories discussed by the professor are all based on matter particles and force particles, the reciprocal system is based solely on space-time, or motion in the most general sense. Rather than fundamental forces, there are fundamental motions. The space-time progression, linear vibration, which are the photons, rotational spin, subatoms and atoms, and rotational vibration, electric and magnetic charges. Whereas just 1 spin number, representing angular momentum, exists per particle in the conventional theories, the reciprocal system uses 3 spin numbers for the 3 rotational axes. Atoms and subatoms are thus rotating photons, and so are not comprised of subatoms or quarks and strings or leptons. Every question raised by the professor is answered by the reciprocal system. And incidentally, the so-called Higgs boson wasn't really found at CERN. All they did was create an isotope of cesium, or actually a couple isotopes of cesium. So, you might ask, why hasn't the reciprocal system been accepted by the theoretical community? The simple answer is that the reciprocal system disagrees with all the theories discussed by the professor, though it is in agreement with all of the facts of observation and experiment. Hopefully this will change within the next 50 years. I and my associates in the International Society of Unified Science are doing the best we can to teach the theory and expand its application. Again, I appreciate the clarity of the professor's presentation and am thus recommending these lectures. Just keep in mind that there's a far superior theory out there, the reciprocal system. Okay, that wraps it up for today. For the simplest possible treatment of the reciprocal system of theory, please obtain my work, The Unmysterious Universe. It has all the concepts in there, many diagrams, beautifully illustrated. It's really simple to read and understand. Now, if you do want all the mathematics, then please obtain my magnum opus, Existence and Interactions, a computational treatise of the reciprocal system, the true theory of everything. 711 pages in the PDF, 711 slides in the PowerPoint file, thousands and thousands of equations, numerous tables, graphs, diagrams, everything you could possibly want about the theory in great detail. It'll take you months to go through this work. Now, once you get through that, then you should be ready to go with the 2 database modules. There's the reciprocal system microcosmos database and the reciprocal system macrocosmos database. The microcosmos database has all the calculation of the properties of photons, subatoms, atoms, compounds, alloys. It covers both cosmic and material particles. And lots of graphs in there too available. So, then the reciprocal system macrocosmos database has all the properties of the universe as a whole. Galaxy clusters, galaxies, star clusters, stars, planets, moons, minor bodies like asteroids and comets, nebulae, dust clouds, etc., and voids. Very comprehensive. It shows how It actually has graphs and property tables for the properties of stars from the surface to the core. Amazing. So this is the most comprehensive treatment of the reciprocal system. You would go for the reciprocal system microcosmos, macrocosmos database modules. But we're not done yet. Duvie Larson was also a theoretical economist, just as I am, and I have a work called Optimal Economist, an implementation of Larsonian econophysics. So this provides the first true theory, the first real theory of economics which works for individuals, businesses, business sectors, and entire countries. So it covers both microeconomics and macroeconomics. Lots of graphs. It's the most powerful economics program you can buy. Okay, that's Optimal Economist. So again, study the reciprocal system and prove it for yourself. Thanks for your attention.